3-0 halfway through the season. Looking really good so far, you guys. Let's see if we can keep the undefeated streak going. Hey guys, what's up? IrishEmerald here, coach of your Wexford Warriors, and welcome to our week 4 battle in the CLTU, where this week we're going up against Rocky Rolo, coach of the Rock and Rollers. If you don't know how to pronounce your R's or get tongue twisted with them, you are screwed with that name, you know. For whatever reason, every time I look at that name, I just think of Elvis Presley. Don't know what it is, you know. But anyways, guys, we're going up against him. Hopefully, we can keep our undefeated streak going. I did say last week, if results kind of go our way, I think 4 wins should lock us. If we can pick up 4 wins in 4 weeks, I think we're pretty much good for playoffs, and hopefully that would be the case. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see how we get on this week. But yeah, the team we're up against, you can see on the screen here for you guys right now, consists of Mega Kangaskhan, Celesteela, Clefable, Latios, Entei, Inteleon, Nihiligo, Regilecti, Mudsdale, Scrafty, and Lurantis. Straight off the bat here, you guys, the Mega Kangaskhan is obviously a big threat, and this isn't like some non-seismic toss Mega Kangaskhan that you may see in some leagues knocking around. This Mega Kangaskhan gets access to everything. Now, if you're wondering why Seismic Toss Kangaskhan is so annoying, it's the fact, like, no matter what typing other than Ghost, that Seismic Toss is always going to be doing 100 damage, and that pretty much means it's going to be a minimum 3-hit KO most Pokemon. So it's and then that does all the other stuff that Mega Kangaskhan gets on top of that, but no turn, which is nice. As well as that, he's got the Celesteela, which is very scary. His Steel Fairy Dragon Core, by the way, on any other regular league team is terrifying. But because we have Ubers, it's nowhere near as scary, thankfully. But it is a problem. And then he's got a couple of other threats too. The Inteleon is quite problematic. If that thing's Choice Scarf, we've got to be really wary of that, because that is problematic for our squad. But yeah, that's his team. Let me show you what we're bringing. So the first Pokemon we're bringing you guys is King Tut, the Cofigurus with the Rocky Helmet, Body Press, Pain Spit, Knockoff, and Shadow Ball is the moveset. We have most of us in Fizz Death because I want this thing to be our Mega Kangaskhan answer, so that is what this Pokemon's primary role shall be. And then this Def investment there is to help us deal with the special Lurantis. So the reason why I'm kind of thinking that it could be special or could be a little bit different is because Lurantis does get the contrary boost from Leaf Storming. And I think that Lurantis is probably one of the few Pokemon on this team that is really, really comfortable going into Cofigurus. So I figured let's make sure that we can kind of deal with that a little bit. And we don't need a full Fizz Def Cofigurus to deal with the Mega Kangaskhan, because Mummy would stop the parental bond ability that Mega Kangaskhan has from triggering and causing us too much problem. Now, I'm kind of out of Shadow Ball this week because if you look at his team, he hasn't got any real Shadow Ball answer outside of Mega Kangaskhan. So we were able to come in, we can click Body Press on a Mega Kangaskhan, and when we see that switch, we can go for the Shadow Ball, and we're effectively going to be getting neutral damage off on everything, because once our opponent sees Body Press, he's not really wanting to go into Scrafty, and then we can just click Shadow Ball then as our middle ground move to be able to get reasonable chip off on everybody. So hopefully that will work. Could have brought Will-O-Wisp, could have brought T-Spikes, but with the likes of, you know, I think a Lurantis switch, Entei, Scrafty with Shed Skin, I just don't think T-Spikes or Will-O-Wisp will be very effective this game. So Shadow Ball, I think, with that, be able to hit that team really, really nicely, is going to be do the work for us. Next up, we're being Voodoo, our Galarian Slowking with the Assault Vest. I know. I've been bringing this thing constantly with the Assault Vest. Look, it just does so much work. I wish maybe if this was a non-Ubers league, I wouldn't be required to bring a Assault Vest every single time that I do bring the Galarian Slowking, but I used to maybe create up the EVs. It's something a little bit interesting there, so that's not too bad. Speaking of EVs, I'm bringing enough for Def in order to ensure that a Choice Specs Latios will not be able to do more than 50% to us with a Draco Meteor. So that means if he brings in the Choice Specs Latios, regardless of what he wants to do, Galarian Slowking can kind of just come in and just get an Ice Beam off, which is absolutely fantastic. I have a Touch then put into special attack to ensure that a Surf from our Galarian Slowking is able to 2-hit KO zero, like basically a non-bulky Entei, right? So that's what that there is for. The fire, it also has Fire Blast, be able to 2-hit KO the Celesteela. And then the Radiant moveset, Ice Beam is just for the Latios, and the Sludge Bomb is there for the Clefable. So hopefully this thing will be able to do the trick, and it will be able to do plenty of work for us. One thing to note though is that we cannot afford our Galarian Slowking to lose its Assault Vest until we know what that Latios is. Once we know Latios is not Choice Specs or something of that ilk, then we can afford to have our Glaring Slowking lose the Assault Vest on like a knockoff switching. So gotta be mindful of that. Next up, we're bringing Nagato or Ashgren with the choice specs. Hydro Pump, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, U-Turn is the set this week. You look at his team, he hasn't got many Pokemon that actually are able to deal with Ice Beam and water coverage. So any kind of water stab move is going to be able to do buckets to his team. Like his main switch in there is going to be either Lurantis or the Latios, and neither of those two want to take an Ice Beam. So Ashgren this week can do a whole lot of work if we're able to, especially if we're able to get into his Ashgren form. We can just click Hydro and just be like, yeah, good luck, bye-bye. So we're running the Hydro Pump and the Ice Beam for that. U-Turn for a bit of pivoting. And then Dark Pulse is mainly going to be our main secondary stab move, because outside of the Clefable and the Scrafty, he hasn't got too many Pokemon that actually want to deal with that. So Ashgren should be able to do plenty of work for us. And we have enough speed to make sure that Greninja is able to outspeed the Inteleon naturally when we're in base Greninja form. After that, I have dashed the Mega Blaziken with Protect, Flare Blitz, Pulse Combat, and U-Turn. Max speed in order to make sure that we speed tie Entei and Mega Kangaskhan and such. Again, I've mentioned this in the previous video. I'll just mention it again just for prosperity. The reason why I'm not being really clever with my speed here, because I just do not know how good opponents are with EV in their speed to do various different speed creeps. So I have to make sure I can guarantee to outspeed 252 EV Pokemon. So that's what Mega Blaziken is here to do. I have to protect to ensure that if we are dealing with an autonomized Celesteela, I can just click Protect once, and then that Celesteela is not going to be allowed to meet me at +2. So that's very important. I have enough attack investment to ensure that I'm able to do over 50%, around 50% to a fully Fizz-Def Clefable. So we're able to two-shot Clefable with a Flare Blitz. And then the close combat is there because there's next to no fighting resist on this team. You look at the team we're dealing with, Latios is the only real fighting resist and Clefable, those two. But I already got Flare Blitz that's able to two-shot the Clefable, so once Clefable gets weakened, close combat is able to just run over this team. There's no real Drew combos able to deal with it. Mudsdale might be able to, but we have Pokemon that we added to our squad to be able to deal with that. Next up, we have Big Papa Pump, our Swampert. We're running with Stealth Fox, High Horsepower, Flip Turn, and Scald. You're probably wondering why we're running a little bit of Scald, and we have a minus attack nature. I'll break down the EVs first real quick. We are running enough Spadef to ensure that Nihilego is not a problem, even if he's like some Power or Meteor beam set. Swampert can kind of come in and just deal with it. No questions asked. Easy peasy. The rest goes into Fizz-Def to ensure that we're able to deal with the Entei and the Mudsdale. The 28 in special attack is to ensure that Scald is able to do about 40% to a Mudsdale and about over half to an Entei. Now 40% is a really nice number here on Mudsdale, because if we happen to get the Scald burn turn 1, it means that if he's not holding lefties, we can ensure that we get the KO as a 2-hit KO rather than a 3-hit KO. So that's the reason why I kind of went for the 40 there. If we get that chance to burn and he's not holding the lefties, that's a kind of a nice number to hit, and any more investment's not going to really work out for us. But other than that, this thing is mainly here to kind of come in into those Pokemon, set up rocks, and just pivot around so we can get our main threats in. And last but not least, I am running a Drumstick the Rillaboom Choice Band this week. We are coming in and hitting hard. Woodhammer, Grassy Slide, I just get the two mixed up. Knock off and U-Turn. We're bringing Max Attack, Adamant Nature. We have enough speed to be able to outspeed the, I think it's Scrafty, I think maybe Clefable. Can't quite remember off the top of my head. But we have enough speed to be able to ensure that. The rest goes into bulk. Mainly, Rillaboom is here as our early game wall breaker, and ideally to be able to break through a Clefable. So if he's like some Calm Mind, offensive Clefable set, Rillaboom just kind of comes in and says, listen, none of this shenanigans today. Woodhammer, bye-bye, good luck. And that's the idea behind that. And then the rest of it is just pure utility to be able to kind of deal with the rest of his team. Because realistically, you look at his squad, there's not too much there. This also gives us an opportunity to be able to smack the Regieleki too with a Grassy Glide and Inteleon. So able to hit those Pokemon that aren't really Rillaboom friendly really hard, and Ocone opens up the door for the rest of our team. But yeah, that's the team, you guys. Let's get up into the battle. Alright, you guys, here we are in the battle. As you can see, he's brought the Mega Kangaskhan, the Entei, the Latios, the Celesteela, the Regieleki, and the Mudsdale. quite happy with that. That was because one particular reason why I'm quite happy with that is because we don't see Clefable, which is really, really nice. The Galarian Slowking means that it's there solely for the Latios. I have the Configures there solely for the Kangaskhan. The Entei can be quite scary, but we have Swampert for the Celesteela. Gotta suss out what that Celesteela is. The Regieleki can be quite annoying, and we have Mudsdale there as well. Now, leading off with, we could lead with our Rillaboom on this Mudsdale potential lead. He might also want to lead with the Kangaskhan. If he leaves with Kangaskhan, I can just go hard into the Configurus. And if we lead with our Rillaboom, I think we're pretty much safe regardless. We can just pivot around. So I think we leave with our Rillaboom and we see what happens. So I think that is the play. So we're going to bring in our Rillaboom. He brings an Entei. That just sucks, right? That is nasty. We cannot really stay in here. I have to bring in our Swampert immediately as he goes for the Sacred Fire. We do get the burn there, which definitely does suck, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Now for this, I can do a slow flip turn and bring in my Greninja, and I'm all about that life, so let me just do that. He brings in the Latios instead. Cool. Let me bring in the Galarian Slowking here, and I can suss out what this wants to do. Now, at this point, we could go for an Ice Beam, and he might want to go into Celesteela for that. So, part of me kind of wants to go for the Fire Blast, predicting the Celesteela switch. I think I am going to do that because it gives me a little bit of scouting. In comes the Celesteela. We go for that Fire Blast. Does 47%, which is absolutely fantastic. We do see the Weakness Policy pop. Right, that is very scary, but if I can go for another Fire Blast here, this should put it within range of this Rillaboom. So I am going to do that. Yeah, there's the Autonomize. I'm not having this shenanigans here set up in front of me. Down goes the Celesteela. Perfect. Yeah. No, thank you. Not happening. Not today. In comes the Mudsdale now. Fine. We can bring in our Swampert here. As he goes for the high horsepower. Yeah, nice brain. To be fair, it's a nice brain. Now I could switch into our Rillaboom here. He is definitely switching. I could go for a Scald. I think Flip Turn is probably our best play as he elects to stay in. I'm just going to go right into our, as he has Rocky Helmet. Okay, that is nice to know. I'm going to go into our Rillaboom here. As Rillaboom can just pretty much scare this thing out as he goes for the high horsepower. We resisted, that's a crit. Unfortunate. It is what it is. I'm going to go for a knockoff, I think. As he stayed in. Alright. Okay. Goes for the Toxic, misses it. Fine. He has the high horsepower. I'm just trying to think what's the best way of dealing with this Pokemon. I was not expecting him to stay in here. Truthfully, I thought he'd switch out. I honestly thought he'd switch out, and he didn't. So that's a problem. I am going to go into my Swampert and see what he wants to do if he goes for Toxic, which he did. I'm all for that. Part of me wouldn't mind. Actually, I'm going to click Skull. No, we set up Rocks. Rocks is just too tasty here. We set up Rocks. I go first. He might kill me off with high horsepower. We live on 1. That's great. That's no problem. I actually love having the Rocks up here. I could Flip Turn. Actually, Flip Turn is very free now that I have this thing. So I could Flip Turn, go out into my Rillaboom, but I do lose the terrain. I could click Scald, let this thing go down, bring in my Greninja. That is interesting. Let me click Scald. That should bring this thing real low down. I'm okay with that. There's the high horsepower, perfectly fine. This gives me Greninja. I'm pretty sure I can just Dark Pulse here and pick up a KO. So I think I do just that. We just click Dark Pulse. Like what's the switching? Yeah, this thing's dead. Dead. So, thank you. I think we finally got Ashgren for once in this league. We actually finally got our Ashgren, which is fantastic. In comes the Regieleki, which is a little bit of a nuisance. Won't lie, but we can try and deal with this thing. I have the Galarian Slowking, so I'm going to just switch into that here, see what he wants to do. He has the Volt Switch, we eat that up. That looks like that is specs damage to me. That really does look like it's specs damage to me. Based on that, let me just have a real look here. Regieleki, Choice Specs, Volt Switch. Not quite specs. Well, that's if he's modest. If he's timid, how much does that do roughly? 9. Okay, so it might not be specs. Okay, he's probably not specs. It's just the fact that that move just hits so hard. Gonna go into my configurers here. Configurers is able to do a little bit of work. Ooh. Rest, sleep talk. Interesting. Interesting. I don't particularly want to go into my Ash Gren here, but part of me is like, I kind of have to. I'm going to click, but if I could click into Rillaboom here. Interesting proposition. I think we could go into Rillaboom. Yeah, I think we do go into Rillaboom and just break this. See what he wants to do. If he sleep talk, he does. He lands the toxic. That's fine. I want to keep my Ash Gren a little bit more healthy around. I am going to go for the Wood Hammer, I think, as he actually does elect to bring NTA this time, but it is what it is. Wood Hammer almost picks up that KO, which is freaking ridiculous, by the way. Freaking ridiculous. He's probably going to go Sacred Fire. Let me just go back into... I kind of need that clearing Slowking for this Regieleki. So I think we will... Configure should be fine. Rocky Helmet should be able to do a little bit of work here. So I think we go into that. Oh, he went for the E-Speed. Nice. We'll take that. Let me go for a Shadow Ball here. He kind of has to stay in, I think, for one more turn with this Entei. Otherwise, he's going to lose it to Rocks. So I think he's trying to decide what he wants to do. He might be banded. Based on that, he might be banded. So the Entei goes down. In comes this Kangaskhan. Dude, easy. If you're going to give me this thing, I am perfectly fine with that. Goes for the Toxic. I'm going to get that Body Press off. That does 46%. I can kill you next turn. So give me that Body Press. There's a Wish. Down goes the Kangaskhan. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. In comes the Regieleki. This thing will probably get the wish next turn. I'm just going to go on to my Galarian Slowking at this point. There's the T-Bolt. We eat that up. Beautiful actually, honestly. I kind of want to go Surf because this Mudsdale knocking around. So I think we will go Surf and then I should be able to just Grassy Glide the rest of the game. Thunder Cage. Okay. That, I'm pretty sure, just keeps me in here. Yeah, it's like a trapping move. That is fine. If he's going to keep me in here, I'm just going to go Sludge Bomb. If that is his play, if that's what he wants to do, I'm just going to go Sludge Bomb and just be like, cool beans, cool. I have no problem with that, mate. No problem. That's a big hit. And we do go down, but like, you're dead to my Rillaboom. And so is this Mudsdale when it comes back in. So I'm just going to go Grassy Glide. As in comes the Mudsdale again. Perfect. And then that just leaves Regieleki there. Come back in one more time. And we just click Classic Glide one more time. Perfect. I think that went really well. Pick up the 4-0 win. Easy as can be. GG Rocky, great game. Thought it went really nicely. When we saw the threats in front of us, we just kind of dealt with them. Shame we lost Swampert as early as we did. That did definitely make dealing with the Entei a little bit more problematic and the Regieleki, but you know, I think we were okay. Like the Regieleki was able to trap our Galarian Slowking, which is a problem, but that was fine once we had gotten rid of the Latios. Like it opened the door for our Galarian Slowking to do really well. So really happy with that. Overall, pretty solid performance. So that's 4-0 win. That's us 4-0 with plus 14 diff if I remember correctly. So pretty good season so far, you guys. So hopefully we can keep it up. I can't quite remember off the top of my head who we're playing next week, but hopefully we can keep the momentum going. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there today. If you haven't liked the video, please do so already. If you haven't subscribed already, please also do that. And if you're not following me on Twitch, do so. I'd play Pokemon over there, so definitely go check that out too. But yeah, I'm going to get on up out of here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.